Here is coming. Longer safe here.
It is written. Without further bloodshed.
Spell death for all involved.
Weak and unsuited to rule.
Allowed to muster them.
We'll certainly fail. We'll raise our own throne.
Father.
Trade your queen. Bring Aegon, usurper, to me.
We finally got the final trailer of House of the Dragons, and as you've seen for season 3, this looks absolutely crazy. And now we have to ask ourselves, like, where do we even start here? Well, first we have to look at the fact that Rhaenyra is coming back to the Red Keeper. We are excited, and I think that's how the first episode starts. You know, Rhaenyra, she has been away from that, you know, being at Dragonstone. As soon as she was taken away, her whole heir taken away from her, like the heritage she has taken away from her. At the end of the day, we all knew that she was supposed to be the queen. She was supposed to be the queen. And just as soon as her father, King Viserys, died, they gave it straight to Aegon. And she's been repaying since the beginning of Aegon's coronation. You know, of course, they gave her Viserys' crown, but she was never at the Red Keep. She was never sitting on the Iron Throne. And that's what at least Rhaenyra needs to show that she is the queen. So we know that that's going to be the very, very first episode. We're going to get that. And, you know, I think that's going to be very interesting. You know, it's going to be a different vibe altogether. She now is going to be at the forefront. She now is going to be the one on top. You know, we've seen from the past season, it was almost as though we had Aemond and Aegon on there together. And it's just like both families have broken them. The family in itself broke themselves down doing that. But now we would see Rhaenyra on the Iron Throne. And this is very interesting to say the least. You know, we see her, and as she spoke about in the last season, like, she told the others that, yeah, we're going to fly over. We're going to fly over and take what is ours. And that's the confidence that Rhaenyra has right now. She's out here flying over, taking exactly what she feels is hers, the Iron Throne. So this is going to be very interesting, and I feel like it shows that in the start of the trailer, you know. And as soon as she flies in, we know probably first episode, everyone's going to be shocked. They're going to see like 5 dragons out here from just various different dragon riders, you know, and they're going to take a few lives at least. And it's interesting because what we're also seeing from this is the fact that we having to flee. You know, they're telling Aemond to go Harrenhal, you know, and clearly Alicent agreed with Rhaenyra in terms of letting her come in. You know, she felt like this is a peaceful way. Alicent now, before she was at the back foot of this, wanted to give this to Aegon and realized that this just ain't it. Like, this ain't gonna work. So now she's come here, she's tried to change her mind. Rhaenyra has now appeared and she stated like, look, I'm here. This is what we're doing right now. This is my throne. So Rhaenyra is taking over right now. And now this is just going to get crazy. This is going to be an absolute bloodshed going forward. I feel as though as the episodes go by, Rhaenyra's on the throne, but her ops are just building. The Greens. The Greens are not going to just lay down like that. They're going to build. They're going to make sure that they're in good positions themselves. And we can see it. We can see Aegon out in the wilderness, but he's not going to let go. He's going to make sure that he gets on top one way or another. Once he can get his dragon back, as we saw in the other trailer before, he is not going to let go. So we know that that's going to be a crazy scheme going forward. Also, of course, we have Daemon, and he's just going to be, you know, he's at the right side of Rhaenyra, and he's going to be the one really trying to push for Rhaenyra to do what is needed to be done. You have to rule, and bloodshed is going to be it. You know, even one of the scenes we're seeing him saying, "In a war, all suffer." He's ready for anything to happen, you know, and he's going to be on the forefront of pushing that forward. And on the other side, you have Aemond. You know, Aemond, who probably would have thought Daemon was a Harrenhal. He, in a box, he flies to Harrenhal and he causes a mess, chaos that side. So there's a lot going. There's going to be a lot going in the Westerlands. There's going to be a lot going around in the Reach. There's going to be a lot of battles that we're finally going to see. One of the biggest battles that we cannot wait to see is the Battle of the Gullet. The Battle of Gullet, you know. The Battle of Gullet is one of the crazy, crazy, crazy battles. And we're going to see that. The triarchy, of course, led by one of the Lannisters that goes over there from the last season, from the finale, ends up going to meet those guys, and they're ready to fight for the Battle of the Gully. And they're going to, of course, they're going to fight our guys. You know, one thing that we're going to see is Jace. You know, Jace is going to play a big role in this Battle of the Gully. So this is going to be a very, very significant thing. And of course, the Lord of the Tides, Valerian, and his group and his companions are going to fight against these guys on sea. Now, the Valerians, we know they're masters of the sea, but against the Triarchy, this is going to be a tough battle. So we know that Jace, I have to repeat that again, makes a big impact in this battle because he's the one on the dragon. While there's a lot of these guys on sea, he's going to be on the dragon. And we see that he's going to be about the smoke. He's trying to say, Dracarys, I am here for this. So we know that this battle is going to be very significant, which we're seeing a fair few images of this battle, and it's going to be one of the bloodiest battles, probably one of the greatest battles of this. Of course, we've got Tumbleton as well. That's going to be a big battle, but this is going to be one of the biggest battles of this whole thing. So we can see there's going to be a lot of bloodshed here. Jace is going to be doing his thing. The Valerians are going to be doing what they do. House Valerian. So we know that this area in high tide is going to be a big bloodshed. And I think this goes on for a few episodes probably. I don't see them doing like a one episode per battle. I don't see them doing like a half episode. I feel as though certain battles like these, like they got to be at least two episode three. A battle of God, I give it 10. Such a big battle. So that's one thing as well that we expect to see. Also, Aemond Hightower looks like he's going to be the biggest up to Rhaenyra. You hear him say that, she's going to lose her throne. He also has huge confidence where this is going to go. She's not going to keep her throne forever. She's going to lose her throne. And as she's on top, it's almost as though Rhaenyra is weak. Because it's like now she has doubts in can she hold it? It's one thing when you're hunting it, you're ambitious, but when you've got it now and you don't know how to manage it, you might be struggling with how your ops are taking it. You don't know what your ops are on. That's a bit of the worry. Now, Aemond Hightower, being the fact that he's part of the Hightowers with Alicent in the same family, we know that this is going to be a very significant thing going forward. I think Aemond plays a big role. And of course, he also has Daemon, which is one of Alicent's sons. Daemon, who has the Blue Queen, Targaryen, that's going to be the blue dragon. And you see in some of the images, we see Targaryen lined up with the greens, and the greens are going to play a big role. And I think at least we're going to see him do some damage. At least in this particular season, they'll definitely be there doing some damage. So we know that this is going to be very interesting, and I'm sure they'll win one or two battles. They'll do what if you guys have definitely seen Game of Thrones. They'll probably do what we had Rob Stark doing. One or two battles they ended up winning, but then they saw it started getting a bit flaky. So I think that's what we expect to happen with the High Towers. They're gonna push forward, and also I would want to highlight that the High Towers, because that's where we have the Septons and all this, and they have good links with that. They're all about faith and they're all about their own beliefs and principles. So they see Rhaenyra as an op in herself, and that's what they're going to push forward. They're going to push forward that, look, you have children that are bastards. They're going to push forward that she is not fit to be the ruler of the throne, even though she was given the heir. So that's going to be an opposition there. One other thing that we're definitely going to see is Kristen Cole. Like, we need to see Kristen Cole out of the game. A lot of people I can see in the comments really want him raps, and I understand why, because we don't need Kristen Cole no more. Kristen Cole needs to leave the game. I'm tired of seeing Kristen Cole. So Kristen Cole's going to play a big role in this as well. The reason I say this is because they're going to have to clash. They're going to have to clash the North, and we can see the North is ready. The Karstarks. We're seeing one of the biggest ones as well as Roddy Rowan. Roddy Rowan, who's going to be a big role in this, is going to be a menace. And I think I love this because we're going to see how big it is for the North camaraderie. How the North are going to pepper some of the Greens. Because I feel as though there's a particular area when you start getting into the Reachlands, the Reach, the Vale, all those areas there, North are going to start coming in and they're going to start clashing. And if y'all there, y'all know it going to be tough. The North ain't going to play. So I just say that for Kristen Cole. I don't know who you're going to lead there, but, bro, it's going to be a tough battle. And I think that's going to be one of the episodes as well that we can't wait to see. When we see Roddy Rowan in a group there, yeah, this is going to be interesting to say the least. So that's another battle that we can't wait to see how that goes down. I know a lot of people can't wait to see how that goes down. So, yes, that really sums a lot of the battles that we expect from this season 3, which are going to be great battles, immense battles. A lot of people are going to see they're gonna be shocked because there's gonna be a lot of bloodshed. You know, it's gonna be a lot of action, the most action we probably have waited for. You know, from the build-up that we had from the last season, we're finally gonna get that action coming to fruition. So this is definitely gonna be an amazing scene to see, and we cannot wait to see how this pushes. So definitely, guys, if you love a lot of this, make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. You know, it's coming in soon. House of the Dragons is coming now by the 20th, going in within that week. We're all going to be hyped. We're all going to be hyped for it because it's like, come on, we've not had this in a while. So definitely make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, express your entity.